Yeah.
What's going on, Don? Riveting Radio Real Estate this morning. What are we talking about?
I thought we could kind of continue the discussion we were having last time about some things to do to add value to your house if you're thinking about selling it.
Oh, sure.
There are definitely things that do and that don't add value. And I found a really cool quote that I thought was pretty appropriate. It says, because while any home improvement that brings you joy is priceless, not all add as much home equity as you might expect. So I can't count the number of times people come into my office and say, my house is just special.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody says that.
What does that mean when you read that on a listing? Special. Kind of like you see a listing, it says TLC.
Right.
You know,
I'm going to say it's a little
missing.
different.
Right.
It's different.
And cozy can mean teeny tiny.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. All those words you can kind of
little buzz
have
words.
different meanings too
Right.
in there. But there are definitely some things that add value and that you could expect to recoup most of your investment back from. So I have a few of those, and I have way more. So if people are out there that are interested, I would love to sit down and talk
I would
with
think
you.
hardwood floors.
That's one of them.
You know,
that's one
maybe
of them.
the roof.
Yep, the roof is number one.
Double pane windows. Maybe.
Yep, yeah, insulation is one. So
Okay.
double pane windows fall into there.
Okay.
So number one is roof,
Yeah.
and so the typical cost, and these are just typical average costs.
Okay.
Of course, the cost is going to be all over the place. You have to
Gotta hunt around.
They're saying that the typical cost for a new roof is $7,500. So that's in the ballpark there anyway, and you can expect 109% return. So
Oh, wow.
that's a pretty good.
That is a
Yeah.
big one, number one.
Well, let me stop you right there. Because let me ask you this question: 109%. Do you have to tell the interested buyers that there is a new roof on the listing to be able to recoup that? My question in there is, like, you may get the bones of the house up perfect, but nobody sees them
Right.
until the home inspector comes by, and by that point you may not be able to say, well, why is it so expensive? He says, well, we just put a brand new roof in here.
Right.
So does that have to be listed?
It doesn't have to be, but it's a good idea because it shows that you're actively maintaining your house.
Okay.
So I always, if it is a new roof, I always try and mention that in the listing.
Okay.
Because it gives people an
And
idea.
that's important out here
That's
with
a
all the
peace of
rain
mind.
and stuff.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some ways to tell, whether your roof is in need of replaced too. You hear you bought a 30-year roof. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to last 30 years.
Sure.
So if you're seeing grit and little pieces of asphalt in the downspout, for example, that's an indication that something's going wrong. You see sun shining through your attic.
That's probably
That's a big one. You notice stains on the ceilings and the walls, and your energy bill is sky high. Those are all indications that
Okay.
you might.
Huh.
And around here, if it's covered with moss,
Sure.
obviously
Oh,
something
yeah.
needs to be done. And they always say not to get up there with a pressure washer because that washes away the asphalt stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
a lot of people do that, and
And make it worse.
I've always heard, it does tend to make it worse, or it doesn't make it last as long. So yeah, taking a look at your roof and making sure. And then the other thing too is that's the first thing people see a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is when they drive up to your house, they see your roof. So make sure that it's at least clean, and if you have put a new roof on, let that fact
them
be
know.
known, so and that's how you get the return. That
Yeah.
return is
Okay.
that you can
Cool.
raise that price a little bit more.
Right.
109%.
That's what they're saying. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so obviously
So
results will vary.
Yes.
but
that'd be like a $10,000 return
it's
on that.
8,000 on a 7.5% or $7,500 investment. You can expect 8,150 bump in the
Okay.
value of your
Okay.
value of your house. So,
Neat.
so yeah. So the second one is hardwood floors.
Nice.
It
I
says
like
that
those.
You see it on the home improvement shows all the time. They peel back the old carpeting and there's hardwood floors.
I
Everybody,
know.
everybody gets all excited. Everybody gets all excited.
Totally.
So yeah. So there's two ways to do it. If you have them, a lot of times they need to be refinished. So the typical cost of refinishing them is $2,500, and you can expect 100% return.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and the cost to buy new is $5,500, and you should expect a 91%
Oh, that's
return there.
still
So
pretty good.
$5,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
so still a pretty good investment. Of course, again, as we talked about last time, trends change. So right now everybody wants hard surfaces and hardwoods and tile and that kind of stuff.
Right.
5 years from now, they might all want carpet again.
Sure.
So you just never know. So, and that's why a lot of older houses, you see gorgeous hardwood floors covered up with carpeting, because the people at that time wanted carpet.
Right.
So which actually turns out.
Interesting. I'm not a carpet fan.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times, a lot of people aren't now, but who knows? 5 years from now, everybody
Yeah.
might want
After
that.
that green shag carpet
Right.
before too long.
Exactly, that you had to rake. Yeah.
Yeah, comes with rake.
Yeah.
What's number
I remember those. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
number 3 was kind of surprising. You might not think about this, but it's new garage doors.
Oh.
So again, first thing people typically see when they drive up. So you want to make sure that they are at least clean and not dented and
Oh,
all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
So for a 2-car garage, typically $2,300,
Okay.
and you expect a 87% return, so $2,000.
Oh, good.
So
Is that just the door, or is that the mechanics to open the door? Like
Could
if
be
you get
both.
One of those super quiet
right?
door openers.
Could be
something
both. I think probably the 2,300 is just for the doors, because the mechanics tend to be on top of that.
Right.
But you should check all of that. I mean, you want to make sure that it's working. You want to make sure that it looks nice. Those kinds of things.
I've
Again, curb appeal
I've
is
seen things you can buy that will make your garage door, if it's assume that it's a full panel and there's no windows or anything like that.
Okay.
But you can buy little black stickers, and it kind of gives the impression of windows.
Right,
It
right.
really can kind of upgrade.
Hey, that is
Yeah.
a good
garage
idea. That's
door
kind
a
of
little
cool.
bit.
I've
Or the
seen-
doors.
No one can
Yeah.
come. No one can look in,
Yeah,
but
no,
it
'cause
looks
they're fake
like.
windows.
But
Yeah.
it looks
Or-
nice.
Yeah.
Or like traditional barn
Yeah.
door
Oh,
handles.
That's what I've seen. Those are
Cosmetics,
cool.
you
Those
know,
are
yeah.
so it looks like it should open
Yeah.
like an old barn door, and then
Oh, I
it
would
but it
so
goes
do
up.
one
Those
of
are
those.
those are cool.
That's the
Colors too. You can if your house is white, maybe think about doing a black garage door or something like that.
I've
you know,
seen garage
contrast.
door colors lately that either match the trim.
Right.
Most likely they match the trim. And
Right.
It's sharp.
It looks
Yeah,
good.
it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks
Again,
good.
you're trying to make that good first
Yeah.
impression.
Yeah.
They always talk about curb appeal. So
Cool.
that's a good one. Number 4 is insulation. So your double pane windows, making sure that your house is well insulated.
Yes, that's important.
Something that people don't tend to think about that almost always gets called out by an inspection if there's a problem is underneath the house, if there's torn vapor barrier or insulation hanging down, that kind of thing. A lot of people, I know I don't want to go underneath.
No,
and a lot of
no,
people,
no.
a lot of people don't. But it might be, if you're thinking about selling, it might be worth hiring somebody to go under there and take a look and make sure that everything is all up to snuff. Because if it's not, that's going to be something that an inspector is going to call out.
And
So
sometimes those pieces of insulation are strung and held up with just string.
Exactly.
String
Yeah.
breaks over
Right.
the years.
Yeah.
stuff like
well,
that.
or critters get in there and
Yeah.
pull it down, that kind of thing. So the total cost of having somebody do that is right around $2,100.
Not
And
too
and
bad.
that's about right.
Yeah.
I just did that recently at my house, so I know that cost, and that's about right. And you should expect about a 76% return.
Oh, that's not too
But
bad.
again, like the roof, that if you can say, hey, I've had somebody under there, they've certified that the vapor barrier is fine and the insulation is fine, that just adds value to your listing, so that because it shows that you've been proactive in keeping
Right.
your house up and making sure.
And
that
you can get letters from the installers
Absolutely.
that say this is what it is.
And I always recommend that. We do a home book that we put on the counter, and those are the kinds of things you can put in there that potential buyers can come in and look at.
Oh, good.
And again,
yeah.
shows
That's
that
smart.
you're actively taking care of the house. And so if people come in and see right away something bad, they're going to think the whole house is bad.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you minimize those things that they're going to see. So, and then the last one is new siding. And,
Oh, yeah.
And these guys are recommending like vinyl siding because you don't have to paint it. And vinyl siding got a bad rap, I think, for a while there, but they've improved it significantly so that now it's much better.
Okay.
Another one is hardy plank siding, which is the cement siding. So take a look at your house again. First impressions. If people drive in and they see peeling paint and those kinds of things.
Dented garage.
Yeah, right. And so that all
Shingles falling off the roof.
that all makes a bad first impression. So
Yeah.
you want to. So cost of siding is high. I mean, total cost is they're saying it's $13,350.
Oh my!
But you can expect a 75% return, so $10,000.
That's still good.
Yeah. So that's still good. So yeah, again, the main thing is to not once you decide you're going to sell your house, it's not your house anymore.
right.
So you want to look at it from a prospective buyer's point of view. What are they going to see when they walk in? What are they going to?
You know, and you might even bring in like a friend, like, "Hey Jeff, come look at my house. Tell me what
Tell
you
me what
see."
you would see it
You know,
driving
because
up.
you're gonna think, "Oh, my house is perfect." You know,
Yeah, they always
Bring a
do.
friend, right? Bring
Yeah,
it's special.
Yeah, special. It's special.
It's a special house.
And another thing there that a lot of times people don't think about is we've heard this whole thing of nose blindness. There could be odors in your house that
Yeah.
you just don't
Exactly.
pick up on anymore. So have somebody else come in and say, there's kind of a funky smell here. So then try to get to the bottom of that and get rid of that.
And
So
don't take any of it personal.
don't
No.
take any of it personally. No.
And you can bake some chocolate chip cookies.
Just
Yeah.
fix it right up. Don, how can folks get in touch with you? We're just about out of time.
They can call me at 360-490-4493 or come and see me on the corner of 3rd and Railroad at the John L. Scott office.
And we're gonna see you at the expo
You
today.
gonna be in
I'll
there?
be in the office this afternoon, so if you're out wandering around in the expo, stop in and say hi. And
Come in and see the great look outside, but then there's some great work being
there's
done
some
inside.
nice work being done inside too. Yes, my office is still the same, but that's okay.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be spending a lot of time in the office.
Right,
Right.
right. And I like the way things are. I don't want to take things down off the wall.
No, don't touch my walls.
Don Pannell with Riveting Radio Real Estate from John L. Scott here in Shelton. Vicki, that puts the wraps on the show for the day. So you have a great day. We'll see everybody come down to the iFiber tent here. Caleb and Vicki from 11 to 1, and you can get in and sign up for a giveaway for a contest for a Google Home Mini and a Chromecast. So that'll be a lot of fun. Tomorrow's the
Yeah.
wine mixer. And
Oh yeah, it's gonna
everybody
be
out
so
and about.
fun. Yep, have an awesome weekend.